Hi, this is Tim Autry, and I want to thank you for your interest in the HU ROI Calculator. As you know, the purpose of this calculator is to be able to determine, first of all, the cost of human error for your organization and what it is currently on an annual basis, and then to look at options for human performance improvement and look at those costs and look at what your return on investment will be when you do so. So we're going to start here at the top of the HU ROI Calculator, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through a demonstration of how to use this and explain a couple of things along the way. As you can see, part one of the calculator is the cost determination portion. And you'll see we have three sections, sections Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. So let's just work right on down through these. Section Alpha is unplanned downtime and lost productivity. Now, as you can see, we have a couple of lines here. We have landmines, which, as you know, in the world of practicing perfection, these are the things that set people up to make mistakes. And then we have human fallibility, which is the other side of the equation. If you look at practicing perfection precept number 2, 84 to 94% of all human error can be directly attributed to process, programmatic, or organizational issues. Well, those issues are what we call landmines. Now, if you'll notice here in the calculator, landmines are costing you and your organization on average $629 per year per worker. Now, this is just simply in lost efficiency, unplanned downtime, lost productivity, etc. This number came from an extensive study and analysis that was done by the IDC Consulting Group, which was published in February of 2011. They analyzed over 400 large organizations. These organizations were both in the UK and in the United States. And based upon their analysis, this is the number that they came up with. So all you simply must do then is enter the number of employees that you have. Now, for this example, I'm going to say we have 775 employees, and you'll see that this automatically does the math for you. You'll notice the number 775 also appears in the line below to give us a calculation for human fallibility. So just one more quick explanation. If 84 to 94% of all human error are caused by landmines, then the other 6 to 16% is simply due to the fact that human beings are fallible. On any given day, any one of us can make a mistake. So if you do the math, that comes out to $77 per year. So those are added up. Now, in most organizations, when we have an error or event that goes beyond a certain threshold, we do some type of an investigation. There's some administrative costs, some resolution costs, and those sorts of things. So that's what this next part is designed to calculate. You'll notice here it says average hours per condition. We use the term condition to identify any one of those errors that rises above the threshold where you're going to want to do an investigation. That's its intent here in the calculator. So let's say that in your organization, when you have one of these things, you spend an average of 65 hours between investigation, administration, and resolution. The next block is for calculation of, or for entry of, the average hourly rate of the folks that are involved in administration investigation. So let's put $55 per hour in there. And then you want to look at your own data and kind of do a ballpark of the number of conditions you typically have per year that get investigated. And let's say in this example you have 4 of those. So again, automatically does the math for you. So then you can see here part alpha or section alpha of part 1 comes to a total of $561,450. All right. Section Bravo, illnesses and injuries. What we've done here is we've made this simple. So what you do is you take your OSHA recordable rate. Now, if you're not aware of this, OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Administration in the United States. And most every company in the United States has a number here. So let's say that your number is 2.84 for the current year. Then what you want to do is you want to divide this by the OSHA average number for your sector. In this case, let's say it's 3.02. Now, if you don't know what your number is, or the average number for your sector, you can get that at BLS, Bravo, Lima, Sierra.gov, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the United States. And they publish these numbers for every sector that there is. So we do that, we come up with a ratio. Now this ratio here, in this case 0.94, is how you are doing relative to the average for your sector. In this case, you're a little better than the sector, so this comes out less than 1.0. If your numbers are higher than the sector, obviously that's going to come up with a number greater than 1. Now that becomes important down in the next line. All right, so if we drop down to the next line, you'll see the number of employees has already been filled in for you. The ratio that you just calculated is here, and the reason this number is important is because of this number. The National Safety Council has identified that just to make up for illnesses and injuries in organizations, the average cost is $1,200 per employee. So if that's average, then what we want to do is figure out how you are doing relative to the average, which is why we come up with this ratio. So now you have your number of employees multiplied times your OSHA ratio times 1,200. Now the 0.95 is because statistically 95% of the time somebody gets hurt on the job, human error is involved. And remember, this is a human error or human performance return on investment calculator. So that's why we have the 0.95. So in this case, you can see the total over here, and it has also totaled down here. All right, now down to section Charlie, physical, plant, or environmental costs. This is where you would enter any discrete or external costs caused by the errors and events that you have. So in a lot of industries, you can ruin equipment, you can cause events that have environmental cleanup costs, those sorts of things, or anything that requires external costs to fix. This is where you'd want to enter it. Now, we recommend that you take the average number of these types of events over the past 3 years and put that average number in here. And for this example, we're going to put in the number 3. Now, these events are usually pretty expensive. So we're going to use a number of $125,000 average cost per event here, and that will calculate the total for you there. So now, between section Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie of Part 1, what we have is we have a figure showing you the total annual cost of human error for your organization right now, today. This is what human error is costing you. Oftentimes, this number is far bigger than people had ever imagined. All right, now we go down to Part 2, which is where we enter in actually determine our cost savings and our return on investment for performance improvement efforts. Now, in my opinion, if you're going to initiate any type of substantial effort to reduce human error, you should be looking for or targeting a minimum reduction of 50%. So we're going to go ahead and put that in, and I would always put in 50% or something higher here, because if you're not going to get this type of substantial improvement, you know, you're just not doing it right. So that's going to give us an annual cost savings of, you can see here, $883,646. So what you want to put down here then is the cost of your implementation. If you're going to initiate an improvement effort, and let's say in this case it's going to be $500,000, we're going to really, really do something substantial, then the final block here will calculate in percent your return on investment. So as you can see here, for this organization in this example, a $500,000 investment in performance improvement is going to yield a 76.73% bottom line return on that investment. I don't know about you, but I'd make that investment every time I had the opportunity. So that's it for the ROI calculator. Hopefully this answered a few of your questions, and I want to highly encourage you, if you would please help us out, provide your feedback using the link provided below on this page. And we're going to be accepting feedback until December 15th. As of that date, we're going to roll everything together. We're going to turn it over to the programmers, and they're going to create a nice app that will be both on our new website and will be available for use on your smartphones. So please provide us with information, because all of us working together can create a much better tool that will help all of us in the human performance improvement industry. So until we talk again next time, this is Tim Autry. Thanks a bunch.